Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerd, we are welcoming back the owner of Dynasty, Field One, and Hormesis. He's got more pro wins than Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Alex Fraige. Are you gonna sing us a little diddle now that you've tuned it up?
I can't play piano, man, but it's all right.
Well, you sounded great.
I'm working on it.
Alex.
Thanks.
Man, Alex, you've been extremely busy. I'd say the past couple of years, especially. You're owner of Team Dynasty, Field One, large gun company, Hormesis, the biggest brand right now. You got your Iron Kids documentary that you're working on. You got the paintball movie that you're working on, and now this new magazine. So, man, what's driving you to tackle all these things?
So yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of starts with Hormesis, and that Oliver and I started that in the summer of 2020, and it sort of just organically, naturally snowballed. And instead of looking at that like a business, really, we were not really looking at the bottom line. We're like, okay, people are supporting this. We want to use the money that we're making from this to put back into projects that we feel will benefit the overall community and stuff we're passionate about. So like making a movie, really not the smartest business decision, but fun and also, I feel it's necessary because no one else is doing that. And that's sort of Oliver's tour, right? Like he felt passionate about that in the one-on-one format. Monetarily, the best idea, probably not, but interesting and fun and a great, thing for people to participate in, and making something that he wants to make, all about it. So, that leads us into the next project, and that's sort of reviving paintball print. So, I go back to when I was a kid and carrying around my action pursuit games in my backpack at school and looking the I got a bunch of them here that I've been looking at, all the old magazines, and I saved them all, right? Like, yeah. I still remember, you can call it back, right? And look at the old ads and read the old articles, and this is something that the internet sort of crushed, the tangible thing.
Well, it's funny because there are veteran pro players today that have never had the opportunity to purchase a brand new paintball magazine.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing.
Yeah. So who is this magazine for?
So really, with any art project, it's hard to do this when you're looking at it from a monetary standpoint, but I try to keep anything that I'm making artistic. It's something that I want to make for myself. So this magazine is something that I want to read, and that's something that I want to have. And that's sort of what's driving me to do it. And, it's kind of an anecdotal, interesting story, right? Because it comes back, like I was saying, when I had the APG in my backpack, I would show it to my friends, and then they'd be like, wow, that's what paintball is. It became real. It became real to them. And for me, I felt recognized and seen. So now, if I'm at a parent-teacher conference and I run into some family that I know that, are also parents at the school that my daughter goes to, they're like, hey, you're the paintball guy. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what's that all about? And then I'm like, well, let me get my phone out and try to explain it to you while I pull up Instagram. And like, then by that time, they're like, yeah, this guy's a joker. So, if I have something like this sitting on my coffee table, they'll be like, huh, what's that? I won't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Right.
They just pick it up.
Yeah. Pick it up with something with, my vision is to make it big and, really present the photos well in a beautiful way and have thoughtful features and, tell the stories about who we are and what we're doing. It's not really going to be, news, gear reviews, all that stuff is antiquated, right? You process all that online now.
Yeah.
we're not going to tell you who won the tournament because you already know, because you watched it on Go Sports, right? And our magazine is going to come out 6 months after that. So, what's the point of retelling that story? So what we're trying to focus on is scratching beneath the surface on who we are and what we're doing in an honest way.
So more like something that you can enjoy year round, or as Maddie calls it, like evergreen content. This is an evergreen piece of art that you can keep in your living room, and it's something that you can enjoy regardless of the date.
Absolutely. You can go back and revisit the pictures. You can revisit the articles. Somebody who's never, ever seen paintball before, look, you've never seen paintball before and you walk into somebody's house and, this is sitting on their coffee table. You're going to go like, all right, what is that? Like if I saw this in the bookstore, I'd be like, I'm gonna get that and open it up and just see what's inside. It's sort of it's novel in that way for this day and age.
Is that the cover that we see there?
This is a mock-up. We might use this. I mean, it's pretty damn good. That's good. I mean, we've been throwing around. I've got a bunch of different mock-ups for potential covers. But I don't know. There's your boy Saransky.
Love that.
But I mean, I don't know what the first cover is actually going to be yet. We got a couple ideas we're throwing around now, and excited to be working on the layout. And I've got a wonderful team of creators. The photographers in our community have been like super generous to try to get this off the ground. Creative writers like yourself, I've got a great piece from you that we're going to put in. And I feel like, it's all sort of coming together because it's a project that, like me, other people in our world want to see happen. And that's what it's going to take because, it's not a cheap project to do right. And, we're getting it printed by a great printer here in the US, and it's a massive size. It's 11 by 17, a poster size. So when you have it in your hands, it's like, I don't even like to call it a magazine. It's a book. I just, I'm stoked to hold one in my hands for myself.
Yeah. It's funny, Alex, because I remember at the Hormesis tour, you're asking me like, you asked something like, do you think people read? Articles? And I didn't know you were asking about the magazine at the time, or what I thought about it, but you're like, you think people read? I'm like, no, people just scroll through, and it's just, I was talking about the medium of the cell phone, right? Social media. But then when you told me the idea about the magazine, I found myself really wanting one. And then at that point I got it. I'm like, I get what he's trying to do. And then, and then I received this.
Oh yeah. I got one
from Riddle.
Yeah.
I just got it. Yeah, I just got it yesterday in the mail, and as soon as I saw the cover, I found myself plunging back into these emotions that I had as a kid purchasing a magazine. And I started to think about all the other emotions as I went through my career with magazines and how they were a substantial part of my paintball experience. Like as a kid, before I started playing competitively, I'd get magazines and be like, okay, that's the cool gear. That's the kind of mask that I want. Who are the best players? This guy, Bob Long, they talk about all the time. I found myself doing that. And then I started to think about as a professional paintball player and how I viewed magazines at that point. And a new one would come out and I'd immediately get it, or I'd, be in the grocery store looking through it and thinking, I hope I'm in it, right? I hope I made it in this one. So, you know what I'm talking about? Like that
totally.
feeling?
That feeling, like, I mean, just looking at the magazine was amazing to start with before I even, started playing in tournaments. And then, the first time you got your picture in one, you're like, your mind was blown. And you totally, and like waiting for the new one to come out, right? Like there's anticipation there. And when you see it, you're excited and you're holding, it's like, it's like, watching the new Star Wars trailer. Like there's anticipation. There's like a payoff, thumbing through the pages and again and noticing things you didn't and taking your time to look at the photos and the ads and read the articles. And yeah, Clint's awesome. I mean, he's amazing, and he's actually working with us on this project too. So I'm stoked
cool.
to. Yeah, he's doing some layout and some paintings. They're going to support some of the articles, and also, people are nowadays are used to assimilating information in that sort of like quick payoff way, and I'm totally I'm about that, and our magazine sort of our book lends itself to that anyway, because we do have thoughtful articles that are long form and in depth and detailed, but also we have beautiful photos. And I'm going around and I'm talking to the photographers and the players that are in the photos. And I'm saying like, hey, I text them a picture. I would say, hey, what goes to your mind when you see this? Right. So almost it's like looking at an Instagram post, but in 11 by 17 on paper. Right. So like I've got this beautiful spread here. I'm looking at of Brandon Short from 2009. Right. Shot by Drew Templeton. And we laid it out, and I sent a picture of it. I just snapped it and sent it to Brandon Short. I said, hey, what stream of consciousness, what do you think of when you see this? And he says, I think we just beat Dynasty. I bonus balled Greenspan at the end to get my point across. Right. So like that's a moment in time. That's what we're trying to display in a lot of these. Right.
And what's really powerful, Alex, is like that the book kind of forces you to be in the moment and appreciate paintball. Like when you're scrolling through your feed, there's a lot of things kind of grabbing at your attention outside of paintball. Yes, we follow a lot of paintball players and stuff like that, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to pop up. There's ads and there's different followers, and maybe there's different things that you follow outside of paintball. But when you're going through this book, it forces you to be immersed in that in paintball content. That's all there is.
Yeah.
So
and I want to be honest about what it is. Right. It's so funny. Like I sent Tyler, I got this great picture of Tyler, and I sent him Tyler Harmon, and I sent him the picture, and I said, hey man, what do you think of here? Right. And he says, Houston Heat is hungrier than ever to claim the #1 spot in 24, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then I talked to him on the phone today for another reason. And I was just like, hey man, thanks for sending me that. Really that, I appreciate the response, right? It's thoughtful and definitely, it's premeditated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you know what, bro? 2023 was a bust. So like, I like that a lot better, So
yeah, for sure.
I changed this quote right in there to just take 2023 was a bust. Tyler Harmon, like that's how he feels, right? And I appreciate that. Like that's the kind of honesty that I want to show, right? And that combined with this, beautiful photo from Dan Shelley, it's like it works. Like it makes me want to be there and want to see it and want to read it and want to play it. So I'm like, obviously getting excited about it because I feel that same feeling when I'm putting this together, right? Like Philip Swindle and I are doing a lot of the layout, and when I'm doing that, I'm almost like feeling that excitement from when I opened up Paint Magazine for the first time, right? Yeah. And that's the kind of thing I want to create. And yeah, for it to work, we need the support of the whole community to do it, right? So hopefully, if you do want to support it, head over to our website and pick up a script for the first 2 issues.
Which website do we go to for this?
It's Gap Paintball. So GAP paintball.com. So it's 2 P's in the middle there. I tried to get Gap with 1 P, but it was what was it? I think Georgia Paintball. I called the guy and he was like, it was some paintball field in Georgia, and I was like, hey, this is Alex Fraige. Like, who? I'm like, like, yeah, I'm a paintball player and I'm starting this magazine. I was wondering if you want to sell your website. And yeah, we'll call you back. And that was into that. So we got 2 P's. Yeah. And we're on Instagram too. There's a link to our website on there. It's Great American Paintball on Instagram. And yeah, I know that you probably understand the meaning behind the name. But yeah, we'll tell that story in the book for you all to sort of get a piece of paintball history.
Well, can we talk about the name? Because that was the name of your father's paint company.
That's it. Yep. Let me find. Actually, I got a picture here. I don't know. It's in the other room. Oh, here we go. So we're talking about looking at this photo for one of the layouts, which Eric Crandall my partner in Field One and manager for Dynasty actually saved the very first box of Great American Paintball, and it's paintballs from back in '99, and it's still in his office, and it's like signed by me and my dad and my sister because we packed it, right? And there it is. So yeah, that's
classic.
That's the
an
thing.
Iconic case of paintballs right there. White box.
Yeah. So that's sort of the reason behind the name. Is it's a nod to I was thinking about calling it like Paintball Journal or another name we had was Paintball Gazette, maybe. I don't know. We just wanted it to be something paintball, and I was like, you know what? I think Great American Paintball is a perfect name because that's what we are. Paintball is an American thing, and to me it sure is great. So it's the way I think our game should be portrayed.
How did your dad come up with the name Great American Paintballs?
He was a very thoughtful guy when it came to stuff like that, and he was experienced in marketing products because he came from the waterbed world, and he said that there's so many things out there called Great American something that there's a positive embed, right? Like maybe that's not the case anymore. It depends on where you live. I mean, maybe in Texas, if you're driving down the street, there's Great American horse trailers, Great American fish tanks. I don't know. Like it could be anything. Maybe that's a bit antiquated these days, but it's a bit old fashioned, which is something I like about it. And that's I think why he named it Great American Paintballs. And at the time, I don't know if there were any paintball manufacturers based in the U.S. So I think that there is also an element of pride there. We're using US-based printers and obviously US-based contributors. But we do have, some European flair in it also. So it's not only coverage of American paintball, it's all paintball. It's just, that's the name of it.
Your father was a brilliant businessman, wasn't he?
He was a brilliant man. I don't know if he was a brilliant businessman, but he was an inventor and an entrepreneur. And he had an engineering mind. So yeah, he was a brilliant guy. Business, he probably could have made some better decisions, but like me, I'm throwing money down the toilet making a paintball book.
Well, you have a return. Your return may not be monetary, but your return is on passion.
Sure. And love. No, you're right. And he got that, right? He did it the way he wanted to do it.
Alex, how do you find the time to do all this, man? Like, how many kids do you have? 2?
I've got 2. Yeah.
So you got 2 kids. You own 3 or 4 businesses in paintball, and I know you got stuff outside of paintball as well. Like, how do you make the time?
I do what I can when I can do it, and I if it takes longer, then it takes longer. And I have a great team of support. The guys that are helping with this are amazing. It's a group effort from our community to make this happen. I didn't write the whole thing myself. I wrote one piece in it, and then, I'm doing the layout. I didn't take any of the photos. Other people did that are helping out. Philip is great. Mike Jeffrey is amazing, right? Like I was on the phone with Maddie for about 2 hours last night, just talking about stuff. I've got, great. This kid, Nigel D'Souza, he's taking photos on film. He's down at World Cup, snapping his black and white photos, and then he goes back to Canada where he lives and develops them in his darkroom. It's a cool story, right? So I looked at his photos and I said, man, these are great photos. Not only do I want to use the photos in the magazine, but your story is interesting enough in itself. So I want to talk about that a little bit. The old fashioned way of doing things, which is, sort of in the journey of making something, there's a element of gratification, right? Like even if you can now just take a digital camera, shoot it, send it to your phone in that moment, and there it is, post it to Instagram, done, right? But before, you had to go buy the film, load it in your camera, make the settings, make sure they're right, because you only got 24 shots, and or 36 or whatever it is. You shoot them, but you don't know what's on them. You got to go develop them.
No screens back then.
No, so
you look through the viewfinder.
Yeah, and see what comes out, right? And there's the process of developing, right? There's the chemicals, there's the technique. Sure. There's all these things that are nuanced that can change the outcome of the thing, right? And that's all part of the art. And also there's a meditative state in that, right? Like it's the journey almost that is more fun than the result, right? Like when I look back at my paintball career, I'm like, oh, yay, we won World Cup. Those aren't my fondest memories. My fondest memories are getting my ass kicked and you know, riding is sharing a hotel room with you know, 7 people, and you know, all of those like things that were part of the climb of doing it. And yeah, win or lose, you know, it's the journey that really is memorable.
Yeah, they say that the destination is not the ticket, right? It's not what makes it. It's the process, right? The journey is where you become the person that's the champion, right? Not winning the championship. It's the journey to there that makes you that.
Totally.
So I love it. It's good. It's a sign that you're a strong leader when I tell you, hey, how do you have time for all this? And you just boost your team. You just boost the people supporting you. But I know that you're working hard too, Alex. So I appreciate everything that you do for paintball.
Yeah, you too, man.
Back in so many ways.
And it's fun work, right? Like this is what I want to be doing. Like it's not like I'm coming to here every day and go like, oh God, now I have to work on, you know, my paintball magazine. I'm like, I'm truly stoked to be involved in, you know, the headband creativity project, the magazine creativity project, the movie project. I mean, those are cool things that, you know, I feel like a lot of people are, you know, not so happy in their job. And I'm lucky enough to be like stoked to do it. Right. Like even
not work.
No, even if it's long and tiring, it's creative, right? Like I honestly, today when that story about Tyler, like when I called him, I was like, man, that was like a moment of like, it was a small breakthrough, but it improved what I was doing, right? In an honest way. And I was like, I got a true stoke out of that. I was like, yo, can I change your quote to that? he's like, yeah, you know, I was like, you know, he's rad. So, yeah. And that's like part of storytelling, right? You want to be visceral and real and honest. And, I feel like that's what we're going for, and not pull any punches. Like this is, again, like something I want to make for me and my homies. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be good. I know that.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, Alex, because you love what you're doing.
Yeah. Just for the photos alone. I mean, just the team of photographers that have decided to, help out with this, are amazing. And I mean, here, I'll read you off some of them. I mean, so Nigel D'Souza, Sam Bennett, Carl Markowski, Tom Guest, Dan Shelley, Dave Stufflebeam, Ethan Levy, George Fava, Drew Templeton, John McLaughlin, Ryan Lukey, Ludo Perry, Trevor Will, Arthur Dolshansky, Darren Cicina, Gary Baum, Chris Williams, Danny Lincoln, Dane Hawkins. I mean, I'm talking to Roman, who's the guy that did, you know, all the Old Faithfuls, talking to Chris Diltz about doing something in the future. So like, I mean, I feel like there's a yearning for something like this.
I'm yearning.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that it's, even though it doesn't seem like right now, it you know, it's going to be the greatest idea, but I think that once people see it and hold it in their hands, they're going to want it. And it is going to be limited. We're only making a certain amount. And that's going to be it. So that's because you can only print them. I mean, you could do a reprint, but we're not going to do that. It's too expensive. So issue 1 would be printed, just over 1,000. And then
that's not very many.
No. We might push it depending on how many, because we still have time before we actually pull the trigger on it. But yeah, it's not going to be more than 2,000. I know that.
So how many issues are you going to make?
So it'll be every 6 months. So we're committing to do 2 issues. If it's working out, we'll just keep it rolling. So we're going to do an issue in spring and an issue in winter. So like this issue will cover, you know, basically the entirety of last year. Through photo, but we're also doing archival stuff. Like there's a large section we have called eras, which is like, you know, all kinds of archival photos from a lot of these guys that are, you know, have been around for a long time. And, you know, it's so funny because I I was looking at Dan Shelley's Instagram, and I was looking at these pictures, and I was like, yeah, that's a great picture. That's a great picture. And then I took those same pictures and printed them out in that large size, and I'm like, this is a different picture. You know, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
You see the little flecks of mud. You see the guy's pupils. You know, it's like it just hits different. So I just think it's going to be a very sort of novel experience for the at least current group of players that, like you said, have never held a current paintball magazine in their hands.
Yeah, I'm super excited, Alex. It's gonna be great, dude. And you know, I've heard you say it. I've heard people quote you say it. If I don't do it, who will?
Yeah, I do feel that way.
It's true, Alex, because I mean, if you and it goes even deeper than that, because without Hormesis, like would you have the ability to even pursue these projects?
Not at all. I mean, that's the thing. People bought headbands, and then, you know, we're now in this position to really be creative with the resources that we've been given, which is amazing, right? Like, I mean, dude, this paintball movie Miko's making is it's gonna be mind blowing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. Right. And I haven't even seen anything from it. Zero. I've seen like 2 shots on their little screen at the tournament. Like Pat was like, yo, come over here. And I was like, just because I was standing there, and he shows me the shot of Mouse, and I was like, you know, like that was sick, dude, you know? Like imagine that on a big screen, you know, like it's just yeah, it's gonna be cool. And I feel blessed and stoked that, you know, the community has been supportive of what we're doing, and I hope that continues and we can keep bringing you projects like this. So go pick up an issue and so we can keep making them.
All right, so we can pick it up at gappaintball.com. That's Gap Paintball, 2 words.com.
Yeah, 2 words, but it's all, there's no spaces because it's a URL. So yeah, gappaintball.com, or go check us out on Instagram at Great American Paintball, at Great American Paintball, and cool. The links on there. And yeah, shout out to you and all our contributors, and yeah, Mike Jeffrey and Philip Swindell especially. You know, we're really putting in a lot of work on it, and hopefully we can get it out to the press within the next month and have something for you guys in April, May. So cool. We're doing it.
Awesome, dude. Can't wait. Thank you so much for your time here, Alex. Anything you want to part with for the paintball community?
Just stoked to see everybody in Vegas, and yeah, changing 100.
Yeah, buddy. See you there.